My name is Olagoke Balogun. I am the CEO of So Fresh.
Hi, and I'm Abimbola Balogun. I'm the COO of So Fresh, and we are the founders of So Fresh Neighborhood Market. So Fresh started in 2010, and that's about 11 years now. From one staff to over 140 employees, we have 13 branches, and we started really small from one store, and today we are proud to have 13 stores. It's not been easy. I want to let you guys know that it's not been easy, but it's time to sit back, relax, and get to hear about how it all started.
So Fresh started as a dream to change how people shop for fruits and vegetables. And how did we come about this? Growing up, I grew up around fresh fruits and vegetables. I also grew up going to the market a lot with my mom, and I actually didn't like that experience. So when when we got married, we had our first baby, and I had to go through the same process of going to the market with my wife, and shopping for fruits, shopping for vegetables. Two things stood clear for us. One, I still didn't like the experience. And then secondly, we didn't find the kind of fresh fruits and vegetables we were used to growing up. And so one day the idea popped in my head. What about if we created a very serene environment, clean, hygienic, where people can have access to fresh fruits and vegetables? And then I shared it with my wife, and immediately she caught the vision, she liked the idea, and that was how So Fresh started. We actually just started out to sell just whole fruits and vegetables. So in 2010, we started, researching into how are we even going to do this. What do we need? How do we buy fruits? Where do we buy it? And all of that. And then in 2010, we opened a very small store, just about 35 square meters in Ogba, selling just fruits and vegetables.
The initial business plan my husband drew up.
Yeah.
For a business that we've never tested before, no way. This is too high. Like, this is too much. And I'm happy that he agreed that we start really small, learn the process, make the mistakes before we scale the dream.
Yeah, so I had a very big dream, starting this. I wanted to start really big. So if you just imagine you walk into a ShopRite store, and that was how I wanted to start, just selling fruits and vegetables. But of course, we didn't have the finances, and my wife said, it's better we just start with what we have. So we looked at ourselves, our savings, what can we afford to start with, and then we started from that level. Drawing up our first business plan and just what we thought we wanted to bring into the market, it was so huge, we didn't have the resources at that point in time. And so, we came together, looked at how much we were able to, put together from our savings. And that meant, we could only, afford a shop space around where we live, which was Ogba. Because we went, we searched out so many different stores, we couldn't afford them, or they were not, where we wanted to be. And so we had to moderate, the size of the store that we wanted. We started with just one staff, which incidentally, she was living with us. So basically we started with ourselves, running the business. Because we had to moderate what we have and, where we wanted to be. But we did not lose sight of the dream, of the vision, even though we started at a really small scale.
And again, at the time when the business started, we both were in different employments. And so it was important to put some basic structures in place right from the very beginning. Yeah, because if we won't be both physically present, then somebody or some sort of process has to guide the people, behind the whole operations every day. So that was part of starting small. So we had to start with what we have, which was the young lady living in with us at the time. But even with that, she had some simple guidelines that helps her understand what she's expected to do every day. But trust me, it wasn't easy juggling full employment and then running a business. Balancing full-time employment, so to speak, and business requires, a lot of planning. And for me, I had a more flexible routine because the employment was my business. So I was running my law office at the time. So I had the flexibility of closing early or resuming a bit later, just so I could also provide some oversight functions at work. I mean the business now. Yeah, but my husband's routine, his own schedule wasn't that. You want to tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, I mean, so like say in hindsight, is what people now call side hustle. We didn't call it then, right? But it was actually it started as a side hustle, although with a big dream. So I was doing 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I was working in the oil and gas industry. So 2 weeks I was away, and then 2 weeks I was around. I was 100%, focused on the business. And starting out the business was really quite an exciting time. Just having thought about this idea, planned for it, and then you see it come to life. So the first few weeks, they were really exciting. Customers were coming in trickles. It could be one, it could be two. But it was quite an exciting start. And because we had that flexibility, we were able to, manage working in the business and working, our 9 to 5 jobs. So transiting from paid employment, 5 years, 6 years after we had started the business, was one of the craziest things I'd ever done. Because even now thinking about it, it looked like it didn't make sense. I was living a very lucrative job, and now we just had 2 locations. But we had done this for 6 years now, and it was a combination of 2 things. One, I had more to give to the world than where I was working, and I did not find a connection with what I was doing in my paid employment and the potentials that I believe I had. And so I wanted somewhere I could express myself more, build, create, and bring things to life. And secondly, we had watched this business grow over the last 6 years. We saw the growth trajectory. We've seen the potentials that was in the business. And talking with my wife, we believe that if we could concentrate 100% on this business, give it our all, we're able to push it, to a much greater height. And that was why we took that step. But we didn't take that step blindly. I remember sitting down at what we call strategic sessions, and my wife practically gave me conditions.
Strategic sessions that could happen anywhere, on the bed,
anywhere.
on the road.
And practically gave me conditions that we had to do this, and this, before we take. Because I wanted to take the step a year earlier. I said, go walk. That we have to do this,
Passion
and then
is not enough.
Yes, passion is not enough. With 2 babies, school fees, and all of that. So, we set out the plan, and then we worked towards it. In 2016, we met the goals, and then I went back to her with the report sheet and said, okay, when you are ready, let's do this. When I left paid employment, we had two outlets. By this time, my wife had stopped running our law firm as well. So both of us are now fully focused. So growing from that 2 locations to 13 locations now took a lot of focus and vision. So first and foremost, we were very clear about where we wanted to be within a space of time. And so we did a lot of planning with it, within ourselves, within our team, and we set out what the vision and the goal was. And then of course, we got external funding, which helped us to realize that goal. So in 2017, we got funding from impact investors from outside the country, and that has helped us drive the branch expansion that is still ongoing till today.